1300 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The Prime Minister is in Charsadda to review the relief operations in the flood-affected areas. An emergency meeting of the government's allies is being held in Islamabad today to deliberate upon the current situation in the country. Pakistan's ambassador to the United States has appealed to the overseas Pakistanis to generously donate for the flood victims. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the All Parties Hurriyat Conference has reiterated call for a shutdown on Thursday to mark the death anniversary of Sayyid Ali Gilani. And now the news in detail. The Prime Minister Mohammad Shahbaz Sharif is in Charsadda to review the relief operation in the flood-affected areas. He was briefed about the damages caused by the flood and relief activities in progress. Earlier, the Prime Minister also visited the flood relief camp in Nowshera. The Chief Secretary Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Dr. Shahzad Bangash, briefed the Prime Minister about the damages caused by the flood and the relief activities. Mohammad Shahbaz Sharif expressed satisfaction over the necessary arrangements made for the rain and flood-affected people in the camp. He was informed that necessary items such as tents, foods and medicines have been provided to the affected people in all the camps. Later, the Prime Minister will also visit the site of Mamand Dam, where he will be briefed about the Mamand Dam project. An emergency meeting of the government's allies is being held in Islamabad today to deliberate upon the current situation in the country. In a statement, the Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Maryam Aurangzeb, said chief ministers of all the provinces have been invited to the meeting, which would also be attended by the armed forces leadership. Maryam Aurangzeb said important decisions are expected to be taken at the meeting. Pakistan's ambassador to the United States, Masood Khan, has appealed to the overseas Pakistanis to generously donate for the flood victims. Speaking at a ceremony in New York, he paid tribute to the efforts of renowned Organization of Pakistani Doctors for helping Pakistani brothers and sisters in difficult times. Speaking on the occasion, the city mayor of New York, Eric Adams, expressed his grief over the loss of precious lives in the devastating floods in Pakistan. He assured that the United States stands by Pakistan in this hour of difficulty. The Election Commission of Pakistan has adjourned the hearing of Tosha Khana reference case against Imran Khan till the 7th of next month. During the hearing, the Chief Election Commissioner, Sikandar Sultan Raja, asked the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf lawyer Barrister Gohar Khan as to why assets details are not being submitted in the Election Commission of Pakistan. The Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf lawyer contended that he could not submit the details due to engagement in an FIA case. Later, talking to media outside the Election Commission of Pakistan, Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz leader Mohsin Shah Nawaz Ranja said Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf chairman Imran Khan did not declare his assets to the Election Commission of Pakistan. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the All Parties Hurriyat Conference has reiterated the call for a shutdown and march towards the grave of veteran Kashmiri leader Sayyid Ali Gilani in Srinagar on his first death anniversary on Thursday. The APHC General Secretary Maulvi Bashir Ahmad Irfani, in a statement, urged the Kashmiris living across the line of control and the world over to hold protest demonstrations to expose the Indian crimes in the occupied territory. He said Sayyid Ali Gilani was the leader of the century who dedicated his entire life and sacrificed everything for the sacred cause of freedom. In India, at least 26 Muslims have been arrested for offering congregational prayers in a house in Uttar Pradesh state. The Superintendent of Police, Muradabad, Sandeep Kumar, said scores of people assembled at the house of two locals in Dulepur village without any notice and offered prayers. In Ukraine, shelling around Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant has fueled the fears of a radiation disaster, according to report. Europe's largest nuclear power plant has been a major hotspot in the 6-month conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Meanwhile, in his address to the nation, the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky vowed the occupiers will feel their consequences. The International Day Against Nuclear Tests is being observed today. The aim of the day is to create awareness about the effects of nuclear weapon test explosions or any other nuclear explosions and the need for their cessation to achieve the goal of a nuclear weapons-free world. In his message on the occasion, the United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has called for a complete ban on nuclear testing in order to achieve nuclear disarmament. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News.